Hey guys, how's it going? Today I want to give you a tour of some trees we just planted. So we had a few goals for this year. One of them was to plant some trees. The second one was to get our irrigation completely ironed out, like get all of the zones working and fixed where there's leaks and holes, and also run drip to all of our containers and make everything as automated as possible. We've been working really hard at that already this spring, and we still have a lot to do, but that's one of our goals by the end of the year. And then we also have a couple of really big flower projects we're going to be working on a little bit later, like in just a few weeks. But the trees is just, I'm so excited about it, and they're not even leafed out, you guys. So I hope that this video isn't too boring, but I really wanted to show you the thought process behind what trees we put where, as well as seeing the before and the after they leaf out. We'll do another tour so you can see that. I like to see progression shots. I like to see how things kind of evolve. And I'm just hoping that also it might inspire you or give you an idea for something to put in your yard if you're looking for an idea for trees. So I'm starting right back here, back by our kitchen door, because a lot of you know where this area is at, so you can kind of like point of reference to where we're starting. So let me turn the camera around and I'll show you the first one. All right, guys. So I don't know if you can see it very well, because like I said, not leafed out very much, but right there. So this area right here is full of roses, which eventually we're going to tear all of this out and redo our entryway, because this sidewalk is really narrow. It's really hard to get our carts down it, as well as like carry groceries, and you know, Benjamin, when he's in his car seat, they snag on the roses. So anyway, that'll all be changed, but we wanted to get this tree started because this area right here gets full afternoon sun and it gets really hot in the summer. So we want to have some shade right there. And this is called a red point maple. Let me show you the tag. All right, so this one grows 45 feet tall, 30-foot spread, zone 5. Look at the fall color. And I do like the pyramidal shape. You can see kind of what the silhouette of the tree will look like. Look at that. Oh my word. So the thing I really like about red point maples is that they seem to color up earlier in the fall than most of the other maples in our area. And they also drop all of their leaves all in the same week. So it's not a prolonged cleanup time. It's just once and done. Love that. So we did start with a quite large tree here. I don't know how tall it is exactly, but the trunk is 2-inch caliper. Well, like point of reference, like my fingers don't even go around it. Pretty good sized tree. We chose to do that on a few of the trees to get some large ones. Okay, so the next tree is through the gazebo area, but I want to go by the way of the fireplace. I'm going to skip through the flower bed so you could see the red bud that's almost in bloom. Look at that. I don't know how well you can see. It's not quite bloomed out yet, but there's a ton of color on it. It's just waiting to pop. I'm so excited. All right, so here's the next one. And oh my gosh, you guys, this area, this is like true garden reality right here. We had a gopher come through. You can see where the mounds are. There was 2 right here. That one, and there was one right here. Gophers come through. They decimated all of my Mount Tacoma tulips. There's one left. And then it just kind of tore apart this bed. So I've got a lot of reconstruction to do in this area. Also, this is our Grouse Pond. This is kind of embarrassing, but that's the state of it. We're getting rid of it. We've had a lot of people come and get all the rocks from around it. We just posted and said they could come get them for free. So almost all the rocks are gone. So now Aaron and I need to get busy and get that water out. I just didn't want any water like this when I have a toddler. Anyway, back to trees. This right here is called a big Sis Plum. Get closer. Beautiful foliage. This one's way more advanced in its growing season than the rest of the trees I planted. Look at the blooms though. Like, how can you go wrong with a tree like this? Okay, let me show you the tag. So there it is, big Sis Plum, zone 4, so very hardy, 14 feet tall, 12 foot wide. And I'm going to just kind of like hover over these tags in case you want to pause the video and read up a little bit more. But I just needed a little red accent in this area, to be honest. I actually haven't done anything in this bed since we moved in, and believe it or not, the whole thing fills in with perennials. Every year I never believe it, and every year it just like things grow and pop up that I forget about. But you can see right directly behind this tree, there's an old gnarly looking oak tree that's got some kind of viral thing going on, and we're gonna eventually have to have that taken out, like probably soon. I don't think I can look at that for very long. It does leaf out, but it's just a gross structure. I don't like it. So this will be nice to have a little bit of height here when that goes. We will replace that tree with something else. But I really wanted some red in here because everything is blue and green. So I think that's a nice red accent. Next trees are right here lining the Versailles garden. So right here, there's another red point maple. I won't get up real close to it because you've already seen what it looks like, its potential there. We just wanted something nice and big. It's actually quite far away from the evergreen. I know sometimes the angles can be deceiving and things look a lot closer than they are. There's like a good, oh, I don't know, 15-20 feet between the two of them. So the spread of this should just barely touch that evergreen. And then the other one is right here. Now, let me explain this little spot right here. This is where there was our little random boxwood hedge planted, and there was a big plum tree planted right at the end. The very first summer we moved in, we had the plum removed because the winter before completely killed it. I mean, it was like maybe 10% alive. So we just had the boxwoods taken out, and we're gonna reseed grass right there. So like imagine that nice green grass and then this beautiful tree. This is called a Royal Raindrops Crabapple. Oh my word, see, look at that. Oh, it's so pretty. 20 foot tall, 15 foot spread. This is a zone 4 and it has very good disease resistance. But if you take a look at this tree right now, look at all the buds on it. Like they are about ready to open. When they do, I'll try to get a picture at least for Instagram so that you guys can see. But right here, I wanted some color variation because you know we've got a lot of green with, of course, the grass, the boxwood hedge. Red point maple is green, so I wanted a nice red tree. It didn't need to be huge. And then I do have a gap from this crabapple to that birch that I might bump out and put another tree, something, I don't know, a linden or maybe a Princeton gold maple right there. I'm not sure yet. We are going to be cutting out pretty deep flower beds in here. Maybe not this year, maybe this year. We'll see how much we get done. Okay, so before we leave this lawn, I want to show you another tree right here. I need to remulch a lot of places. So we're right behind the fireplace here. Here is the Sempervivum bunny that we just posted the video of. It actually gets really strong morning sun over here, so I figured in the summertime it would like it the best there because that moss form won't hold water like soil will. So I'll keep my eye on it. It's actually not that heavy, so I can move it if I need to. Anyway, back to trees. So this here is a Venus dogwood. First of all, oh my word, those flowers get 6 inches wide. A zone 5, 25 feet tall, 20 foot spread. Now, dogwoods in our area never get the size that they would like down south or somewhere where they just grow better. I will be lucky if it gets 15 to 20 feet tall and maybe 15 feet wide. And we do have to provide some afternoon protection for dogwoods here because I think mostly it'll tell you they just need full sun. Well, here we give them full morning sun and then it will get some protection from the honey locust. Honey locust trees are awesome because they're really they allow dappled light to come through. So it'll still get sunshine in the afternoon, just not as intense. And because they don't grow as big, it'll just fill in this area really nicely and I cannot wait to see the blooms on it. Next trees are through Versailles back in the corner. Here's the first one. It's a little underwhelming. Looks kind of like a couple sticks, but it's gonna be gorgeous. This is a red obelisk beech, zone 5, 35 feet tall, 12 foot spread. Look at the color. Now beech trees, you guys, they grow like 2 to 6 inches per year, which is perfect for this spot because I really wanted it just to be an accent tree. I don't mind if it never grows the height that it says on its tag. I just think it'll be beautiful with the blue, yellow, green, and then we have the red, which are the 4 colors that I always look for in a landscape. This way, this is more toward our entry. This one is a pink flowering dogwood. Again, it receives strong morning sun and then it's protected by the spruce in the afternoon. So I think we've got an ideal situation here. Zone 5, 20 by 20, which means like 15 by 10 for us here, or 15 by 15 maybe. Look at the flowers and look at that. And this one, the flowers just started to open. So excited. And I love the location of this one because it'll kind of block our house and give us a little bit more privacy because our entry is extremely open, and a lot of people drive up here. And so I really wanted to kind of like screen the house off just a little bit better. Next tree is kind of around the corner along the driveway. First off, there's the black lace elderberry that I planted in a vlog last year. It didn't look like much when I planted it, but look at it now. Beautiful, especially against that gold juniper there. This one is a Kwan cherry, zone 5, 30 by 20, seedless, and check those blooms out. And see how the structure is really kind of strongly vase shaped? I think that's good for where it's going. Look at that. So we're right along our driveway here, so I thought that the vase shape would be really nice. It'll be nice to kind of keep it pruned and out of the way of vehicles. I like the color when it's leafing out in the spring. It's kind of a bronzy color that turns green, and then it turns a really pretty color in the fall. And this one is just, oh, it's not open yet, but you can see that they're trying. They're almost there. Tonight and the next night are supposed to be really close to freezing, which we've been in the 40s at night as our low for the last like weeks. So I'm just praying that everything hangs on and that we don't miss seeing any blooms. Also some red tulips that skipped my notice last year. I need to pull those out. I'm totally not against red flowers. I'm just against red flowers in my garden. I don't know if it makes sense, but I always am drawn to more cool colors like pinks and purples, corals, like soft buttery yellows. And when you add in a bright red, everything just clashes, to my eye anyway. So that's why I don't like red flowers in my garden. I love red foliage. Anything red foliaged I'll plant. I'll plant cool reds like Supertunia Black Cherry. And that surprised me. I really like that Supertunia because it's kind of on the pink side of red, and it really actually goes well with everything in my garden. But I love seeing red in other people's gardens where all the other colors match. So anyway, that's my word on red. Next tree, so there's the lilac I just planted. Next tree is right back here. This is another red point maple. It looks awful close to this old lilac, but this old lilac has seen better days. This one is probably going to come out in the next year or two, which is so sad because look at the structure, how beautiful that is, but it is just, it's not a nice plant when you really get to looking at it. So planted this knowing that that's going to go, so I need some shade and something to block, and then I can plant more shrubs and things like that. But I think the red point will be nice there, and it'll eventually touch the honey locust branches that are here, so it'll just create a nice screen. All right guys, so the last trees are right out here. I got to get outside of this fence. Are you laying in the shade of the tree? You taking it easy? Hi buddy. You might remember all the arborvitae. Our garden's over there. We had a lilac. In fact, in our last tour video, it was still here, but we had that removed. It was actually rotted out at the bottom. They didn't even have to pull it. It just kind of like tipped over and came out. So that one was ready to come out. This is where that big elm tree was that was losing limbs and things. So that was out maybe a year before last or something like that. So we're starting our tree planting over here, which is so exciting. There's another red point maple right here. The thought behind the placement, let me show you. When you're driving in, see the pole right behind it? I'm trying to disguise that pole. I don't want to see that when we drive in. Also, we're going to be starting, the reason why I stopped the arborvitae, that was on purpose. I know it looks like we ran out of trees, but we didn't. I wanted to stop them there, and I'm going to start really heavily planting this as a mixed border. And I'm going to kind of put a blue spruce down in there so it looks like the hedge of arborvitae gets like, it kind of disappears behind the spruce. And then eventually we'll have an opening here with a pathway. And the pathway will kind of just follow the contour of this land, and it'll go all the way to our vegetable garden. And I want both sides to be heavily planted with trees and shrubs and perennials. Right here is a coral burst crabapple, zone 4, 15 by 15, bronze half-inch fruit, really pretty in the fall and winter as well as in the spring. This one, the blooms just started to open. You can see them on the tag, as well as this one's all hung up on the branch, but you can see kind of the more mature look of it. So this is actually not where I intended on planting this one. I wanted to put this kind of near our fireplace area, and we started to dig and ran into a main line of water. We didn't break it or anything. We just saw it was there, so we obviously can't plant on top of that. So I thought, you know what? It'd be perfect to plant it here. It'll kind of start our initial planting of this area, and it'll hide those really bright yellow things that are on those wires. Those just like draw my eye, and I don't really want to see that. So that's the idea behind that one. And then this one is probably one of the more exciting ones to me. This is a spring snow crabapple. So I don't know if you guys are familiar with this tree, but they are a sterile crabapple, so no berries on them. Nothing's going to drop in the grass. This one grows about 25 by 20. The thing that makes me happy about this tree is the trunks. I have never seen a multi-trunk spring snow crabapple. We've always just brought them in as single trunked trees. So to find it like this, I was just so excited. So that one we're starting a little smaller on, but totally worth it. And then if we go to the right here, this is the last set of trees. So these are Royal Frost Birch, Zone 4. You've got the beautiful white bark. This is what the leaves will look like when it leaves out, so it'll be a nice red tree down here. The interesting thing about this one is there's 3 trunks. So sometimes we bring them into the garden center and they actually come in one pot with 3 trunks. We didn't get any of those this year, so I went ahead and picked up 3 trees and planted 3 in the same hole. I did take a picture so you could kind of see a before picture. Birch trees grow excellent that way. There'll be no issues with crowding or anything because being so close together, it'll kind of keep all of their growth in check. They also grow that way in the wild too. So it's kind of like a more natural look down here instead of just like one birch tree. Having a grouping of 3, I'm really excited for that. So that is all the trees that we have planted. I mean, that's actually quite a lot. Let me think about how many that is. 2, 3, 4, 5. So that's 15 trees if you count all 3 birch. Our goal was 20. So I think we're, we don't have to hit 20. If we do, that's awesome. I think the next thing we need to worry about down here is evergreens and getting some winter structure in there. I think that'll be the next step, even before we do pathway. I'm walking this way because I want to show you my other birch tree that's triple trunked. So see right there? That's a triple trunk birch. And I love how they kind of undulate and grow together and just get a really neat character going on. Not real sure. There's a 4th one here. Looks like it was planted later. But, I just love it. I think it's so pretty. And I just noticed that there's a tree stake. What the heck that's doing there? I have to cut that out, I think. So now I want to show you a few blooms. This has nothing to do with trees, but this is kind of a mini tour of blooms right now because there's some really pretty stuff. First of all, the pansies from last fall, still going strong. I have not fertilized or watered them one time. I wish everything performed like that. Amazing. Erin got my strawberry planters all hooked up on drip. Look at that. So excited about it. They're doing really well. Even with all the wind we've been getting, they're staying nice and they're forming fruit. It's exciting. I wanted to address these containers really quickly because they're in the background of a lot of our videos now. And the orbs, we've been asked a lot where I got those. I actually got them at our garden center. I will try to find a source for you guys. I don't know exactly where we ordered them from. We might still have some in stock, I'm not sure. But I will find out and let you know. They are beautiful. I really, really like them. And in the containers, I have soft yellow pansies, icicles, helichrysum, and then a fern. And I've really enjoyed these pots this spring. I think the color is nice because I needed a bright pop back in here. I also wanted to explain quick what this huge mound is because we get asked that quite a bit too. So this is my potting shed right here. There is a root cellar underneath this potting shed, but it's not a nice root cellar. So I would love to, so this is the ceiling of it. That right there is the air access, and we don't go down there, so there's like a little cat statue the previous owners put on top so that no critters get down in there. Anyway, I would like to have the whole thing removed. The whole thing like just punched down. I want fill dirt brought in. I want to have another little picket fence built, and this is where I want to grow my corn and vine crops. I think it'd be a perfect area for that because even though there is an elm tree right here, it actually doesn't shade this spot. This spot gets a lot of sun. And then the pathway will come this way. And that brings me to this right here, which I just planted yesterday. This is a wisteria that's beautiful and double. Isn't that the most gorgeous thing? It smells so good. So this is a double flowered Japanese wisteria. Zone 5, sun to part shade. So I think it's going to do great here. This is a very strong iron trellis right here, which is very important when you're planting wisteria because they get massive. What I want to do is I want it to have it trail around this, but I'm also going to train it to go up over the roof and kind of hang down. Wouldn't it be beautiful to have, this is a little tool shed that I might make into a chicken coop. I would love to have those blooms just dripping off the roof of that. So that's the thought process there. We've got labella pox coming up like crazy. Some of them are even showing some color, but there are 300 of them in here and some rogue red tulips I forgot to take out last year. I'm so excited. They start here, here. There's a few patches back there because I didn't want it to look like, I don't know, I kind of want it to look like it was separate a little bit and then just this huge drift. And then we'll end off with a pot full of peach cobbler daffodils and Russell. So Aaron, Benjamin, and I are just chilling around the fireplace right now. Clearly it is not the same day I filmed the video. Aaron was editing the video and realized that I had somehow zoomed way in on my face. In fact, he'll put it on the screen so you can see just how close it was, and nobody needs to see that. So we decided it would be best if we just refilmed at the end of the video so I could say thank you so much for watching. I know it was a really long video. Cannot wait to show you guys progress shots. We'll see you in the next one. Bye.